QueenTitiLoves, welcome back. Come on, let's get started. I'm gonna do a quick makeup look, my everyday makeup look. I'm on my way to get my hair did. So I'm just going to do a quick touch up. So when I'm done with my hair and walk out, I could feel like a woman. Oh my goodness, what was that? Oh, that was Roger Rabbit, where she said it like that. I love Roger Rabbit. Anywho, so the topic for today, y'all saw it already. It was around, you know, the different things that you go through in a relationship and how people respond, right? So we hear the term all the time, or the phrase all the time. Phrases, by the way, is what I mostly revisit when I talk about things, and then hot topics that need to be discussed. The perspective I take them from is just what I think about them, and then I try to apply it to something that has happened in either my life or something that somebody has allowed me to share because I haven't necessarily dealt with it. And so me being able to say what I would do versus what has been shared with me kind of helps a little bit, because what I want to do is talk about different things that we face so that we know we're not alone. Number one, you're not alone in some of the things that you go through. You know, it's somebody out there who understands directly. And then also so that we can start to get rid of some of these cliche statements that have kind of embedded themselves in how we treat ourselves, treat each other, different things like that, right? So the one for today is he or she is only going to do what you allow them to do. The thing I don't like about that statement, and I used to be an avid believer in that because it's true, you know, it is true. But on the other side of that is the person that is doing something that either one, they don't know that they're aware of, you know, that they're not aware of, or they don't understand the impact, or they're healing from something. So yes, they are doing that, but it is a reason. And if the effort and the time and the person is worth it, then you may be that person to help them safely work through it. Because let's face it, a lot of things that people do is because on the woman's side is that you create this defense mechanism so that you can, you know, not be hurt again. Be it physical protection, mental protection, not going for certain things anymore. And that could be across the board. Relationship, family, whatever, right? Most of the things we do in life don't just apply to relationships. That's why I kind of like the topics that I pick, because you can correlate it to so many spaces in your life, even work, actually. You can even correlate them in work. So they're only going to do what you allow them to do is based on so many things. Everything is not black and white and cut, no, just cookie cutter. What I will say is that, my allergies are tripping. But what I will say is that only the person that is dealing with whatever they're dealing with, or accepting whatever they're accepting, knows the true logic, if there is any. Just keep it 100. Sometimes it's not. It is logic. We just don't agree with it because we don't see it that way. That's a good point to note, because you don't have to understand everything. Some stuff you're not going to, because it's not your idea. I digress. But only the person going through it will understand. And if you think that everybody owes you an explanation for the decisions that they're making in their life, you've lost your rabbit ass mind. That doesn't make any sense. On what planet does that make sense? Hell, sometimes you're actually going through something and working through it as you go through it. So you can't exactly articulate what it is, or you think it's one thing only to find out later, you know, it's something different, like maybe connected to a childhood trauma, or, you know, just the things that you learn because that's how you were raised, or that's what you saw in your own home. The way we live our lives, the things we think are normal, the things that we think we should accept, the things that we accept but we know they're wrong, they root somewhere, right? So there's even things that you accept at work that you know are wrong. There's things that you accept from your kids that you know are wrong. There's things you accept from yourself that you know is wrong, and you want to do better, you want to do something different, but it takes a while to adjust to that, right? So for relationships specifically, my ask, or I guess this could be for anyone, my ask is, if you know that you are doing something that is hurting someone and you would not want that same thing done to yourself, why don't you stop and evaluate why you're doing it, own it, and then try to fix it? Why not do that? So many people too, and yes, so many people too are embarrassed of the mistakes that they've made. So instead of owning their mistake and taking accountability, they would rather run away from whatever it is, blame the victim, some even start to attack the other person's character or people, to make themselves look better or to justify what they have done. Are those normal reactions? Yes, some are because of fight or flight. Some are normal reactions because it's all you've ever seen, all you know. It may have been accepted before, so that's what you lean on. But then you get that one person that is actually paying a little bit more attention, and so they become one with you sometimes. Those soul ties, they become one with you, so they notice things that you don't notice, and they start to address them. And that's usually the person that gets pushed away. That's usually the person that gets, their character gets assassinated, they get abandoned, they get mistreated. In some cases, they get physically, mentally, verbally abused. It's very unfortunate in that space, but that does happen. Somebody shuts down on them. It just doesn't always turn out right. So where the person that is doing the identifying, or whatever the case may be, is discussing it, they're thinking that they're doing something good. Here's the thing. You might be doing something good, but it's not going to turn out the way you want it to overnight, depending on how deep that discovery is, or that realization is, that aha moment, that I see through what you've done with X, Y, and Z. The true concern here, or the true issue here, is this. It's not everybody else, it's you. A lot of times with men is where that happens, because men don't have no problem telling us what's wrong with us. I think they go to a special class in kindergarten and learn certain things like, don't use what somebody did in the past relationship against me. Ninja, I'm using what you did against you. Like, no, that doesn't even make any sense. Because men do that more than women do. Some women is paying for stuff that happened to a boy when he was in the 3rd grade because he wasn't popular like his friends and nobody wanted to play hide and go get it with him, so he's still mad about that. And now that y'all adults, he's still trying to get you back for that too. Y'all better watch out, because this shit is real. Nevertheless, I think that the more we talk about things, the more we realize the traumas and the history that's attached to certain things. Not that we're giving a pass for it and creating excuses, but it will allow us to address the full thing, right? So they only gonna do what you allow them to do? No, you're a shitty ass person for doing it. And here's how you're a shitty ass person. If you don't fix it, and if you know outright that you're doing it, and you're making somebody else suffer to make yourself feel better for the suffering that you had to endure, that's where you become a shitty person. That's where it's not fair to label everybody the same, because how we label things is why, you know, some people can't, all of us can't deal with something because how it was labeled, right? Be it embarrassment, be it embarrassment, be it shame, you're too proud, whatever the case is unhealthy, and it doesn't feel good to go through it, to be the generation to make those changes, but it's necessary, right? So in addressing things, if we could start acknowledging, you know what, yes, I do understand why you may behave this way, but I'm going to support you, love you, stick through this with you while you go through it. And that's on both sides. But stop blaming the victim. On one hand, if a woman does not back up a man and possibly his 32 kids, 16 baby mamas, his mama, his sister, his aunties, his best friend, then it's something wrong with her. Everybody turns their nose up at her, and she's expected to be some captain, right? They all love you while you're doing what they want you to do, but if your life doesn't align with theirs or what they are doing, some people, they're some cold ass motherfuckers. They do some interesting things, and are never called out on it. But you victimize the victim. They only gonna do what you let them do. If nobody stuck it out with each other, how would we get anywhere, right? At one point or another, we all need grace, we all need mercy, we all need forgiveness. And you can say, well, if they do it more than once, I don't see why you don't leave or why you deal with it. Because they want to. So either support them through it, or you even have the right to say, you know what, if it's a friend or something that you're helping through it, you know what, it's too much for me. I love you, but you know, I'm probably not the best person to talk about this with. I've done that before because something a friend was going through, it hurt me. It hurt me. So where people, you know, it is said sometimes, well, it's not about you. You're being selfish. Once you pull me into it, it is about me. If I love you and I'm helping you through it and I become your sounding board, then I'm the one that you're transferring or sharing that energy in that space with to help you heal. So if I can identify that something is hurting you, if I truly love you, it's going to hurt me too. The same as with your kids, the same as with your blood family, the same way as with your spouse. The same can hold true with your friends. You love your friends. You love, if somebody is telling you something that is so in depth like that, unless it's your, you know, your career or whatever, they must trust you. So you do have that type of relationship where that type of love is there, right? And you can only handle so much if the needle isn't moving, or you can only handle so much if things are, you know, really bad and that person, you just want more for them. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, and absolutely okay if that person has to tell you that they can't do it. You have to respect that. What you can't do, or what is not right, is blaming the victim instead of taking ownership. So you'll let somebody else stand out there and crash and burn because you're trying to protect your image, or, you know, it's just not something that you want to face. Again, for these things, maybe it's because of my career that I've been able to be a little more compassionate towards things and try to see, well, oh, they're doing that because their mom did it to them and now they're doing it to their child. You know, having a little bit more understanding, that way you can be more supportive without judgment, and be able to actually help or listen and be a sounding board, whatever that is. But I think it's because of my career that I'm able to do it. Because, you know, in HR, you hear some things and you can't even change your facial expression, because doing so, you know, might make the person think that you're thinking something and really you just gotta sneeze. People become hypersensitive in certain spaces where they're uncomfortable if the body language as well as the words are not what they want. That's a very, very sensitive space anytime somebody is dealing with something and going through things. But what we do know is if somebody, or what we should know, is if somebody is willing to fight that good fight with you, do your very best to appreciate them. Because how many people are fighting a good fight that they were asked to fight? Most were, either directly or indirectly, right? Because again, you open that space up to somebody. You may have asked for their advice, you may have asked for different things, but how else could they know the things that they know to help you if you didn't ask and bring them into that part of your life, right? Victimizing the victim as a woman. If you are the next person that man is with, or the one he's cheating with, or whatever the situation, the aunt, the mom, the cousin, I mean any woman that is in this man's life, I've said it before and I'll say it again, that's your opportunity to help. Most men actually want to please the women in their life. When it becomes too complicated and they have to please too many women, the decision that they make is usually based on the one that put the most pressure on them, because they're sometimes afraid of losing that person. You want to know why? Because women are a very interesting being. We are, and I've seen us at work. We are very aware of our power, and some are aware of how to use their power. Now, the way I've seen some people use it, I'd be like, girl, how the hell do you even think of that? And why would you even want to? Like, I don't believe in the, for me, I don't believe in the guilting somebody to do something or trapping somebody to do something. I prefer that you want what you want, or I've always preferred that you wanted me because you want me, not because something else was attached, anything at all. So a lot of times in relationships, I wouldn't even discuss certain things or tell certain things that had happened, because I wanted you to do it for me. And we're that close, you can see some of the things. But what women do, some women, is, I've even heard of some using voodoo and stuff. I believe it too. I've heard a couple stories recently and I believe them. based on how the family told the story and me knowing the other side of what I heard before. You know, you put two and two together sometimes too. That brings me to a good point. And I'm gonna leave it only with this one because it's a short video. You can put two and two together in a lot of situations. The older we get, the more we've heard. It ain't your first time at the rodeo. You know, daggone well, that dude ain't telling the truth. You know damn well, a lot of people's, unfortunately, a lot of men, their mama will lie for them. Isn't that the running joke? Don't think that you special because you at the mama's house, because you could have been coming in the front door and she could have been going out the back, or she called everybody the same thing, that she cares about her son, not you. You only as good as what she wants from you, or she only like you while you doing what you supposed to do for her, or you know, it's really not about you. Don't it be memes about that stuff all the time? So what makes you think it don't apply to you? You should be really careful. Really, really should. A lot of times you don't know people the way you think you do. And that's for all of us. That's why I keep my damn mouth shut. I'm telling you. That's why I keep my mouth shut. Because some of the revelations I've had, or some of the things that I've seen, I'll be like, how did you even think of that? Are you really just set in my face like that? Damn. Because let me tell you what I don't do. I can high and by, but I cannot sit there and befriend somebody and call them certain things and know damn well I know what's going on. No, I'm gonna check him. And I've dated people that their mothers have checked them. And I think that's dope. Why not? Why not? If we want some of these things to stop, we have to do our part for them to stop, right? And never is it okay for the new woman to victimize the baby mama or the ex-wife or whatever. That's never okay either. Because you know better. That's the whole thing for me. You know better. You smooth stepping out of a 7-year tragic relationship, and you believe that this dude walked on water to you and the angels pulled him out of heaven, and every girl he has been with has treated him like mud, and it's just so horrible. And then you fall right in line. You fall right in line and start having an opinion about the person you don't know. And let's just face it, men are not very good liars. They're not very good liars at all. That's how all of us have caught our men. They're not very good liars. Number one, we can feel it. That's a woman's intuition. Number one, you can feel it. But they actually get caught because they're not good liars. So at some point, when that ninja is talking, I'm sure your brain is saying, he thinks I'm stupid. You know we think that. You know we do. Now staying and accepting things or working through things is one thing, but what we not gonna do is lie no damn more. That's what we not gonna do. We not gonna make these dudes believe that they actually getting away with something. Because they're not. We know what's going on. We do. And we gonna start calling it what it is. And the people that's helping, that want to victimize us, we're gonna start calling them what they are too. And this goes for men and women, because I've been hearing some interesting stories about what happened to, some men while they in the service, or, they don't make adequate money, or she's still, dealing with the baby daddy. She got a woman on the side, all kind of stuff that I've heard. And in no case is it okay It's just not. But for the sake of this, I have to dive more into like what are the responses from the women and things like that, because for the purpose of this show, it's just more so not victimizing the woman. It's more so don't contribute to her pain. It's more so don't act like you don't understand what's going on because it's not you right now. And don't help the situation get worse. That is not fair. And that is your role in it. Is that if you're helping it. To the woman that decided to forgive for something, or, you know, try again, or walk away. Whatever you decide is for you. Nobody is in there when you oohing and eyeing and making that baby with this man. And I'm sure most people, most women, you don't just sit there and ooh and ah to pregnancy from somebody that you don't see a future with. Some type of future, even if you don't see marriage. You know, you see some type of future. Even if you break it down to its lowest form, because I have before. When I was with my ex, I was like, you know what? If we actually broke up, I would still be cool with having a baby with him because he's so cool. You know, he's respectful. And stop confusing that too. Stop reading more into certain things than what they are. Oh, if you love me, you wouldn't do this. You love yourself and you do something to yourself every day. So chill out. It's just certain things are, you know, they just happen. But, and that's with anything. It could be stealing all your money out of your account. Certain things happen. What the hell happened? But if you choose to stay and you choose to work through it, or, you know, counsel, whatever you guys choose to do, whatever you choose to do is for you. Nobody was with you when you made the decision to go into this relationship. People want to support you going into the relationship, and when things is good and it looks fun and the pictures are cute, and then how many people are actually praying for your relationship? How many people are speaking life into you as the woman to stay away from things that you shouldn't be around? You know, possibly cut off your DM. How many people are doing that with the man? Like, no, dude, you got a good one right now. Focus on her. You know, make your family work. This is a new space. Hell, you trying to move into this space with your old behaviors and your old attributes, and you thinking you God's gift to America. That's on man's side and woman's side, because, oh, I was an amazing girlfriend, or I was an amazing boyfriend. Yeah, but that's different than having a baby with somebody, and it's definitely different than getting married. Those are different. Your expectations change, your requirements change, so thus your expectations change, right? At any rate, you should feel proud of yourself whatever decision that you make. Never be embarrassed because you stayed when they did something that everybody else thought was the most horrible thing in the world, hell, including yourself. We forget for some shit that we be like, how in the entire fuck did you even manage to do that? And it's just insane. And you be mad at yourself. But you wouldn't be mad at yourself if it turned out right and you made it through to the other side. So don't be upset with yourself. If your heart tells you and your conscience tells you that this relationship is worth it, this person is worth it, you know, I knew that they had some of these issues going into the relationship, or I felt like this was going to happen because of who they're around or what they do or different opportunities, you know. Again, a lot of times women can see differently because we see the whole person. So if you make that decision going in, stick to your decision and be okay with it. Be proud of it. When you no longer want to commit what you have agreed to commit, and you know, and having a baby with somebody, you committed to starting a family with them. Okay? When you start that family, just because you break up doesn't mean that family goes away. That's still your family. You guys share a kid. That's your family. So in some regards, you're always going to be dealing with the person, and you certainly should respect for them and care for their well-being as a family. Does that happen all the time? No. I really wish it could get more like that, how it should be like that. But maybe you should have exit baby daddy, baby mama relationship therapy. That way you could talk out some things, and yeah, that might work. I wonder if they have that. I wonder if they have that. Or you didn't, when you made a commitment to marry someone, you know, we say all these beautiful words. Some of us write our own words, and they have so much strength and value, because when you're in love, you're thinking, I would go to the edge of the earth for this person. I would do anything I could for this person. I would lay down my life. First thing they do, I don't think this is gonna work out. First thing they do, we should hook back up. First thing they do, he ain't doing what I want him to do, Dad. I'm coming back home. First thing they do, that nigga ain't shit. First thing they do, ugh, she changed. She don't act the same now that we married. We don't hold ourselves accountable for shit, but we want to hold everybody else accountable. That is not okay. So to that woman or that man, like Will Smith, who decides, I'm gonna stick it out with my spouse. It's not a big deal to me. Sorry it is to you guys. Or it's a huge deal to me. I feel like I'm gonna die, but I think this is worth it. Whatever the case may be, I think you should stick with it. I think that you should do your very, very best to block out what everybody else says. Find the people that support you, and not that they support you and they just follow along with you, but they support you because they've been there. They support you because they understand. They support you and are also able to tell you, no, don't do that. You're too angry. That's why you're saying this. No, don't do that because it's just not right. Wait, let's think about this. You need those people. You need honest people around you. Honest people are not going to tell you to do something that they wouldn't do. Honest people are not going to be the ones that, you know damn well, when they was in a situation or a situation similar, they didn't behave anything like what they're telling you to behave like. Anybody telling you at the first glance, unless something is crucial to your health, your safety, something like that, anybody who tells you to leave, quit, anything like that at the first sight of a problem is not somebody you should take advice from. Because if you think that you're going to go through life without problems, I'm not really sure how you think that's going to happen. We have problems in our own life every day. Situations, opportunities, however you want to look at it, whatever word that you need to use to make it okay and normal. But you have opportunities every day of your life. We all do. Anything could happen. How we deal with it is what builds us to be stronger. So the next time when something happens, we're prepared, right? Things are in stepping order for a reason. You didn't go from kindergarten to college and become this esteemed, wise person who knows everything, or kindergarten to just being, having a lot of years in your career. There were progressive steps in the middle. There were pauses, there were breaks, there were different paths that you took. There were people that came and left. But the one thing that held true throughout that path was the education, right? So the goal didn't change, or the requirements didn't change, just maybe how you handled them, different things that you did. The more that we break down things and take a step back from the cliche statements like, if they love you, they won't do this. They only gonna do what you let them do. Love yourself. I think that people themselves, I know that I had to personally take a step back from a lot of sayings, specifically in my last relationship and then when I got married. So it started in my last big relationship or whatever. That's when I was ready to really focus on the maturity of a relationship, letting some of my guard down, I trusted the person a whole lot, and they knew me a whole lot. So the feedback that they gave, I don't know why, I really, really don't, but it never hurt. And one time that fool told me I wasn't even domesticated, like I guess like a damn cat, because I didn't come home from work and rub his back. But I'm telling you, I've been with a lot of men who are spoiled, and they really think that life revolves around them. Whether they say it or not, they think life revolves around them. And when I don't do exactly what they want me to do, either implied, understood, or not, pray for me. Pray for me. But whatever he told me, it didn't bother me because I knew it came from a good place. Well, not that it didn't bother me. Some things hurt, and they hurt because it was like, oh my God, I never noticed that. Or is that how I come across? In my head, I came across different. But it worked for somebody else, and then I had to realize, but this is a different person. So in each relationship, until I get with my forever, I'm going to hear adjustments that I need to make, no matter how much I try to perfect being a good person, or perfect putting forth my best effort and my true intentions coming out and taking more time to do things. All of that matters because you should do it. But to the extent that I was putting pressure on myself, I would, and that was a part of the growth. I would never do that again, because I'm going to need to do it like at each company you go through, right? I love correlations. I'll end with this one. At each company that you go to, if you are an accountant, it's something that every accountant needs to know. But when you go into a particular organization, you have to learn how that organization works. You have to learn those nuances, that cadence, that special thing for that organization, right? So you can go in with the best of intentions to get it right and knock it out the park, which in a lot of areas you will, especially the more work you've done, not the more relationships you've been in, hence people not jumping around companies. The more you stay in something and get it and get it and get it, it gets better. But there are going to be those times when you totally F something up, intentional or unintentional, and how you take that blow and come back is your character, is you showing love, is you showing loyalty, is you showing commitment, is you showing you being transparent. All of those things that we like to think we are, all of those things show when we are challenged and we have to swallow something, or you I'm done. That is it. I don't have nothing else to say. I need to go. Y'all get the point. But to that woman that's doing it, or that dad that's not helping your son, or that mom that's not helping your daughter, whoever is the person that is the root and causing the problem and helping the problem, you know what the hell you doing. It ain't no way you can tell me that you don't, because you are on the outside looking in some of these things. So you have a lot of time to calculate your behavior, and it's not okay. Have we all been in something that we thought we should, move about? Of course we have. If you do it from a good place and with a good heart, then it's okay. That's love. But if you're not, if you're truly not, and that means either bringing them together. If you don't talk to both of them, you don't get to have such a strong opinion in a relationship. I'll end it with that. No, I won't. If you that girl or that man that's trying to hang on to values and principles and respect and love, just know it's out there. You have to work for it, and it's going to come together. The world is going to shift because more people are going to pray about it and do the work. If you're the man or the woman in that relationship and you turn and gone in the wrong direction, if that person is still standing there with you, that person still loves you. Don't give up the love that you have for them because you don't want to address or face or put the time in. You can take everything you learned from one relationship and again apply it to the next. And if you don't really deal with it, that blanket that you put over that stack is just stacking up higher and higher, and everything will explode actually a lot faster. So stay dedicated to where you are, where your soil is, and know that your partner loves you if they're still there. That'll be my best guess, even if y'all have to fight. Like, not fight in real life. None of my business. Bye. Oh, we are going to toast to everybody just doing their best to be better. I believe we all have the desire to do better, but the work that is required, depending on how much trauma it is or how much you let something build up, it gets tough. But find that person that's willing to be tough with you, friend. Start with your spouse, parents, and then everybody else, and bring everybody together. Form your village and make your village very strong. The stronger your village, the easier it is to work through some of these things too. So that is it from me. Good night, Crown Royals. And no, I'm not drinking. I gotta drive. I'm out of here.